Hello, everyone. Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gage Berdovich. Gage, how we doing this week? We got the conference championship coming up this Sunday. How you doing?
Doing good, Brent. Yeah, it's very, very odd. We're getting down there with game wise. The number of them. There's two this weekend, and heck, two on Sunday. We don't even have any on Saturday or Monday this week. It's super weird, but they should be good games. So hopefully that makes up for it.
Yeah, kind of bittersweet that there's only games on Sunday and there's only two of them, and there's nothing on any other night this week for football. And it's like, it's just a cold night in Buffalo now officially.
I was like, what am I supposed to do on Saturday now? Like, I have to actually go do something? What the heck?
Yeah, it's like, okay, this is not cool, but yeah, we'll do that. Oh man, so last weekend we had a pretty good slate of games. Most of the games were close, aside from the one we was hoping, you know, wasn't going to be a blowout. Turned out to be a blowout. But
Very upsetting.
yeah, the rest of the games were pretty close. But the Baltimore coming in and just pounding Houston, and Houston's offense getting nothing going that whole game. And Baltimore's offense didn't look that great either, but they got 34 points on them, 24 in the second half. Lamar ran for 100 yards. He only threw for 152 yards. But man, that defense is amazing.
That defense is so good. And I think, like you said, 24 points in the second half for Baltimore. It was tied 10-10 at halftime. I'm like, all right, this is going to be good. Texans still have a chance. And then I think they're still sitting in the locker room waiting to come out for the second half.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought when they returned that punt in the second half to
Oh,
tie it at 10, I said, okay, momentum for Houston, and that was it. I mean, that was they could muster up nothing else after that, and it was just
yeah.
we both we both predicted Baltimore, but we both were hoping that we were wrong.
Yeah, kind of figured either way it'd be a win-win for us, but it would have been an even bigger win if Baltimore lost.
Yeah, it would have, and they just absolutely dominant, and they haven't skipped a beat, even though they had a couple of weeks off. Even though Lamar had 20 days off, didn't skip a beat.
Nope. Disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, and then the night game after that, the Green Bay Packers almost upset San Francisco. You almost called that one. I went with San Francisco, and they snuck out late with the win. But you called that your big upset last week, and you almost hit it. I thought it was going to happen, but at the end, with a minute left, McCaffrey runs that touchdown in, and San Francisco wins the game. But a missed field goal also hurt Green Bay too.
Well, excuse me. Not only that, but the Jordan Love throw to end the game. I don't know what he was doing. He's been playing good the back half of the season. Played good all game there, and then he goes and throws the ball across his body. Like 25 yards, and that landed like 10 yards in front of his receiver and got intercepted.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yep.
dude, you had all that running lane. You still had, I think, two timeouts. Maybe you had all three at that point, but you had the
Yep.
running lane. You could have took it. You could have threw it out of bounds. It wasn't desperation time yet. You only needed to get in field goal range. Although with saying that, I hope Carlson, their kicker, is still walking back from San Francisco because he does not deserve to come back to that team. That was disappointing.
That was kind of a theme of the weekend with the kickers, but yeah, that last play at the end, like you said, that's just like Love just panicked pretty much and just throws it back across the field there, gets the interception. Like you said, he had timeouts left and like almost a minute to work with or whatever it was. It's like there's plenty of time, no need to get in a rush, no need to try to force something to happen. And that's where your mistakes happen, and that's what happened there. And San Francisco survives and moves on to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I was getting really excited with that one because I was like, all right, Jordan Love, he's got a minute or so left, a couple of timeouts, at least get in field goal range, send it to overtime. With the overtime rules, it doesn't matter if the first team scores a touchdown or not, the second team gets the ball back. So it's like, all right, you have an opportunity. You could even go down and try and score a touchdown now and make my pick win. But no, we got to go out and throw a stupid pass.
Yeah, and that would have been like 2 weeks in a row. They knock off the number 2 seed, they knock off the number 1 seed, and then they would have been in a divisional matchup with the team that they've already beat once this year. Who knows? The Packers could have been surprisingly in the Super Bowl if not for that, but instead they're back at Green Bay.
I was gonna ride with them the entire way too, like I did the last half of the season. Not anymore.
And then the Sunday games, a team that I didn't roll with very much at all this season, and for good reason. We could celebrate now. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been eliminated. Yes. Although
Thank.
you picked them last week, I picked Detroit. Tampa Bay hung in there, played them pretty close, but Detroit is moving on to the NFC Championship to face San Francisco. Like I said, it was a pretty good game. Uh, Detroit kind of took over in the second half there. This game also was tied at 10 at the half.
This game was something that was like Baker Mayfield showed flashes of why he has been on like 4, 6 different teams, however many, in his short NFL career. But it's also like the defensive player for Detroit, C.J. Gardner Johnson. I said last week he was talking all this trash talk, but it seemed like he wasn't watching any film. Then he goes and gets the pick off of Baker that really should not go to him. Should get credited to the wide receiver because I think it was Mike Evans. Went off his hands right into Gardner Johnson's hands, and it's like, all right, well, I know how this game's going to turn out. Great. But when it all comes down to it, we're happy Tampa Bay's gone.
Yes, Tampa Bay is finally, like I said, eliminated, and Baker will not win a Super Bowl once again this season.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And the Detroit kind of lovable losers are playing for the NFC Championship, man. It's kind of crazy. A good team, though. I mean, it'll be a good matchup Sunday. We'll talk about it. But the finale of last weekend may have given Green Bay, San Francisco a run for its money for best game of the weekend. Kansas City Chiefs defeat Buffalo Bills 27-24. Sorry, Tyler Bass fans out there.
Yeah, I mean, you want to say that it gave Packers and Niners, a run for best game of the weekend. How about a run for worst kicker in the NFL between Tyler Bass and Anders Carlson? Wow, he really messed that up.
Man. And they were showing like the Scott Norwood kick from like back in the 90s. And it's the exact same kick, the exact same, way that it wide right. And it's like, oh, poor Bills. And like I said, it's just a cold night in Buffalo.
Yeah. But it's also crazy when you look at Tyler Bass and the way he has kicked this postseason. Let's see, he missed the kicks last week against Pittsburgh. He went 0 for 2, missed one, one got blocked. So it's like they basically had no kicker on their team.
And Buffalo had like a minute something left with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Why not just run your regular offense and try to score a touchdown? Don't leave it up to the foot of a kicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't get that either. Like I said before, it's not something they would have had to worry about in overtime rules to where, first team scores a touchdown, you're done. So it's like, I don't understand that. But then I also look at it like Josh Allen stat wise, 26 of 39. That's pretty good stat wise. But he only had 186 yards and one touchdown through the air. Now on the ground, he added 12 carries for 72 yards and 2 touchdowns. But it seems like, for whatever reason, Stephon Diggs has disappeared. since like week 5 of the
Yep.
season. I don't know why. I don't know if he's going to be gone this offseason. I don't know what the problem is there, but people are blaming all on Tyler Bass, or oh, Josh Allen missed a wide open throw here, or he was off target here. But Stephon Diggs had 8 targets and only caught 3 of them. Who's to blame here?
Yeah, I think like next season, I believe Buffalo is like going to be running into some cap issues. So it would not surprise me if Stephon Diggs went somewhere else because something don't seem right there between those two. And it kind of has been like that for like the last couple of years. It seems like they haven't really got along that well, and it's showing up on the field. Uh, Damar Hamlin heard his name quite a bit on Sunday. He made a couple of special teams tackles and ran the ball for a couple of yards.
Yeah, too bad it was on a fake punt and 4th and 4. That did not work out for them at all.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good to see him back out there, and we get another week of Taylor Swift coming up this week, and Jason Kelsey.
Which, you know what? I don't mind that compared to having to deal with the Bills and Bills Mafia and their toxic fan base.
Yeah, and the Bills Mafia. I mean, that's probably stings a little bit more because of what happened the previous week for you. But yeah, the Bills Mafia it's a little much.
And then throwing snowballs and some packed with ice. It's like, what are you guys doing? Come on.
Yeah, yeah, it's not the best look there, but they're no longer there. They're with the Tampa Bay this weekend at the house.
They're all in Cancun.
Yeah. So now we'll move on into our picks for the week. It's just 2 games. We'll start off with the AFC Championship. The Kansas City Chiefs travel to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens. The spread on this is Baltimore by 4. Gage, what do you think about the AFC Championship matchup?
I know the both of us are going to have the same feelings on this of we
Mhm.
don't want Baltimore to win. We don't want them to go to the Super Bowl.
No.
But I think they do have the better team overall. Yes, Patrick Mahomes, I think, is better than Lamar Jackson. Sure. But what else is there? Mahomes cannot run like Lamar, but he can throw a lot better. They have Rashi Rice. Cool. Travis Kelsey finally showed up for a game last week, and 5 catches, I think, like 70 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. But the Ravens defense is so much better than the Bills. They showed it last week when they held the Texans to 10 points in the second half. Ravens, they got OBJ, you got Zay Flowers. Mark Andrews has a chance to return this week, but like I said last week, if he doesn't, Isaiah Likely has been doing phenomenal, taking his spot. So unfortunately, I'm going to go with Baltimore on this one, and I am going to take the points.
It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They are in the AFC Championship game for the 6th consecutive season. Every year, Patrick Mahomes has been a starter. He's been in the AFC Championship game. But this is the first year that the Chiefs are the visiting team in this AFC Championship game. So it's the first time the Chiefs are the away team for the championship game. I don't think it matters if they played in Kansas City because I think that the Ravens are that much better than they are, especially on defense. They have a much better defensive unit than what the Bills did. Mahomes and the offense really haven't got a whole lot going. I mean, him and Kelsey kind of got things going a little bit last week. But I think Lamar is going to run over Kansas City. Josh Allen went for 72 yards against the Chiefs last week, and Lamar is much better runner than he is. I think they'll get that running game going this week. Although they do have Chris Jones on the Chiefs side, unfortunately, I think that Baltimore will work their way around that, and I think that Lamar will scramble around enough for them to win. I think that they win and they cover that spread. Give me Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl, and that's not going to be good.
Maybe this will be like a Dalvin Cook takeover game too. He just comes in for the first time and just goes like 200 plus yards and a couple touchdowns.
Hey, maybe so. Oh man. So since we both picked the Ravens there, uh last week I went 3-1, you went 2-2, and you almost had the big huge upset of the weekend.
That like hurt my everything watching football for the rest of the weekend. Because like after that game, Sunday came around. I'm like, ugh, I really don't want to watch it today. I'm still in a bum mood after losing that.
Yeah. Oh, well, so now we will move on to the NFC Championship game. And the Detroit Lions travel to San Fran to face the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are a 7-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about the NFC Championship game?
I think this game's gonna be better than the first game. Niners, great team overall, offense, defense, doesn't matter what. They are overall good all around. And the Lions, their offense is good, but if their offense doesn't go like fire right out of the gate, they're gonna be in a world of hurt. Their defense is okay, but I don't think it's enough to stop Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, maybe Debo if he plays. I saw today he's nursing a shoulder injury, so he's questionable. I think he's gonna play though. Biggest game of his career. Why wouldn't he? So I mean, it's hard to tell. Will the Lions come firing right off the bat? Will the Niners defense be able to stop them for a couple drives and let their offense go to work? Or will the Lions surprise everybody and be able to shut down the Niners and, offensive wise, just blow them out of the water? I don't think that'll be the case. And I want the Lions to win so bad, but I don't think it's going to happen. Give me the 49ers. Give me the points. The Super Bowl will be a battle of the number one seeds.
So, San Francisco came here last year. They were and they ran out Josh Johnson to play quarterback because Brock Purdy could not throw the ball at all. He needed, Tommy John surgery or whatever he needed. And San Francisco was the better team last year, I believe, than the Eagles. I guess it was close. I mean, the Eagles played pretty good, whatever. But San Francisco snuck by the other day and barely defeated Green Bay. Green Bay's coming on, was a pretty good team towards the end of the year in that same division with the Lions. The Lions, like you said, their offense, if they come out firing, they're going to be tough to beat. They're a gritty team. I know that's their little phrase is grit. They get it from Dan Campbell. But they're a fun team to watch too. They look like they have fun out there. They play really well on offense. The defense is decent. It's not bad. But San Francisco's got a good defense as well. If Debo Samuel doesn't play Sunday, I could see the Lions winning this game because every time that Debo is out, I think San Francisco has lost. I'm not sure about that. I may have just said that. But when he went out the other night against Green Bay, Brock Purdy really struggled for the rest of that game. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but put 2 and 2 together there, it seems like that may be the case. With that being said, I'm going to go with the upset pick of the week. Give me the Detroit Lions to upset San Francisco and to head to the Super Bowl for the first time ever. Give me the Lions.
Whoa. Not wow. I'm at a loss of words. That not expected at all.
Oh, yeah. And if I'm wrong on both of these games, I'm fine with it because Baltimore's out.
You know what? That's a very fair point.
Yeah. So, if I go 0-2 next week, I will live with it and I will be fine.
I'll be okay going 1-1 and that one loss being the Ravens.
Yeah. If as long as Baltimore's out, it's fine. It's fine. I don't care. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes wins a second Super Bowl in a row, his third in his career. A lot of people don't want to see it. I would rather see that than Lamar hosting at the end of the season.
I would rather see Patrick Mahomes win 10 Super Bowls in a row with the Chiefs than see any other team, no offense, from the AFC North win one in that span.
I am in agreement with you on that. You said any other team in the AFC North? Yes.
Because it's like, we play each other twice a year. You don't want to keep hearing, oh, they're going against the defending Super Bowl champs twice a year.
Yeah. It's like if it's another team in another division, it's just one time.
Maybe if that.
Maybe if that. Sometimes you won't even see that team the next season. But man, this is after this it's Super Bowl and that's it. I mean, you got the Pro Bowl games if anybody's interested in that stuff.
What do you mean the Pro Bowl is the best time of the year?
Oh man, the flag football game is one of the most competitive ones.
I prefer watching the skill showdown rather than the actual game itself. Because it's
That's
like
yeah.
some of the things that they do, it's like, wow, okay, cool.
Yes, the skill showdown. Yes, I'll agree with you on that. That is the best part of Pro Bowl games. But the
I,
flag
like
football.
during the flag football game, I forget if it was last year, 2 years ago. My time frame could be completely off, and this could have been a couple years ago when I believe it was Tyreek Hill went to score the touchdown and got like body checked out of bounds by someone on, I forget who it was, but some safety, might have been Jalen Ramsey. And they're like, oops, sorry, I forgot completely what we were playing. Like, if that happens, okay, cool. Then that makes it entertaining. But if that doesn't happen, and it's like, oh, well, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, it's but I mean that's all the football we have left after this week and it's it's sad until the UFL comes around and then we got spring football.
Which, you know what? Football is football.
Ball is football.
As long as it's not the Canadian Football League, I'm okay with it. They have some weird rules.
I wish they would bring back arena football.
I
That
never really I never really watched a lot of it, but I've heard like a lot of fun things about it, and I've seen some clips on like YouTube and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Give me like Josh Gordon in the Arena Football League. Absolutely. He'll torch everybody."
half the field, twice the fun.
Yeah.
I mean the Arena Football League right there. And Josh Gordon, man, what a name from the past. That guy, I think he just got busted again for marijuana.
Did he? Oh my god.
No,
I haven't
I mean,
seen, so I don't know.
I don't know if he has or not, but I mean, I'm just assuming because it seems like every time his name was in the news, it was for that.
The only guy that I know that can get suspended indefinitely, like 4 different times, from the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah. It's like okay, the Browns, they're bringing back Josh Gordon. Oh wait, hold on a second. He failed a test. They're going to suspend it indefinitely. Oh, the Seahawks, they're signing Josh Gordon. Oh, he couldn't pass the drug test. He's suspended indefinitely. Oh, the Patriots, they're bringing in Josh Gordon.
Thank
Oh
God. I
yeah,
forgot they brought him in.
yeah. They, I'm sorry. They had a drug screening, and he's on the commissioner's exempt list. It's suspended indefinitely.
Oh,
Man,
Kansas
this,
City. Oh, you guys want to bring him in? Nope. Sorry, can't. He's suspended again.
yeah. Oh man, what a talent right there.
Had all the talent of the world and just threw it all away.
Just threw it all away. Weed, man.
But but while we're on like the topic of other football leagues, the Canadian Football League that I mentioned a little bit ago. Do you know of like their weird punt rule kind of thing that offensive players can do?
No, I'm not. I've not really watched a whole lot of that, but no.
I I've seen it on like TikTok and stuff. I know I'm gonna get like some part of it wrong, but for the most part, it's like if you're on like third down and long, the quarterback can throw it to a receiver, and as long as they're behind the line of scrimmage, they can kick the ball past the line of scrimmage, recover it themselves, and it's a new set of downs.
Really?
It's so weird, but I guess it then like you try to prevent the defense from playing like prevent defense or whatever. So it's a good rule, but it's weird in a way as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the NFL would ever adopt anything like that, but
God, I
it'd
hope
be
not.
it would be interesting, to see it like that.
Well, it's like every time, like if your team gets into like a third and 20 plus situation, you always like, oh, they're gonna run it. Well, okay, fourth
Hmm.
down, might as well just punt it now. Whereas here it's like, okay, well, you have third and long. The defense has a decision to make. They could either play up close, so this way you can't do that, and they try to make you run deep, or they can play off and you do that, you get a new set of downs. So it adds an interesting quirk, but I don't know how much of a fan I really am of it.
It's kind of funny, all these different leagues have their different little rules and stuff. And, the UFL, they're going to have a different set of rules too. But on like NBA basketball, I was watching like a G League game just one afternoon. It was on one of these channels. I said, "There's nothing else on. Watch a little of this G League." Well, it gets like under 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, and the guy gets fouled. Two shots. It's what I'm thinking. He shoots a free throw, he makes it, and it's 2 points. And they do that under 2 minutes of every G League game in the fourth quarter. Like you either make it and you get 2 points, or you miss it and you get none, and that's it. And I was like, I don't know about this. Can we go back to normal rules? Why are we changing things up like this? It's weird.
Yeah, that's an interesting rule, that's for sure.
I think it's trying to like speed up the game towards the end, because they get to the foul situations and like a game gets extended so much in the last 2 minutes of the game that, if they get into a fouling situation, you know, it shortens the game a little bit.
Well, it's like I don't understand why the past like 5 years, we'll say, all these new leagues have come and have adopted their own rules and stuff. And it's like, okay, you're changing the game little by little. That eventually it seems like it's gonna like take over for the most part. Like even when you look at like Major League Baseball and the
Mm-hmm.
pitch clock, they just shortened the pitch clock again like a month
Yeah.
ago. It got passed. It's
Yeah.
like if fans go to the games for the experience, yes. Some don't want to sit there for 5 hours, sure. But I guarantee you they don't want to sit there for only 2 hours as well and
Yeah.
watch a 9 inning baseball game. So it's like, why can't we just have things the way that they were? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, the pitch clock and shortening the baseball games is great if you're at the house watching it. But if you're at the stadium, like you said, you want that experience. You're there. You want to get your money's worth there. And
Yeah.
I was like, I always root for extra innings when I go in person because I'm like, I'm getting my money's worth and some here. Uh,
It's like we just went, not just, but like back in September, late August, early September, we went to a Pirates game, and it was like you blinked and we were in the third inning already. Um, Now that could be just because the Pirates are that bad, but it could also be because of the shortening of the game. And it's like, gosh, it feels like we just started.
yeah, and like I said, if it goes into extra innings, an extra inning game now is just the same length that a regular 9 inning game was 2 years ago. It's shortened it that much with the pitch clock, but it seems like every time I go to a game in person, extra innings game, it's usually the Cardinals and they usually win. And I don't like the Cardinals. I can't stand the Cardinals.
Well, it's like the extra innings too with the ghost runner, or I
That
guess
is
not
the
a ghost runner, but the starting runner on second.
Yeah.
It's like you get one lucky hit, and chances are they're scoring.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why? Well, in that case, let's just start every inning with someone on second base and call it even.
Yeah. And they done it the COVID year or whatever because, to make things interesting for the 60 game season or whatever. That's fine. After that season's over, let's go back to the regular rules. We don't need a ghost runner out on second base to start the 10th inning. How about they earn that spot before they get up there? You're going to tell me this guy struck out last inning and he gets to go stand on second base to begin the next inning? Come on.
It's like,
Not a fan of it.
whoa, they struck out on 3 pitches looking, but hey, you can go stand on second and possibly score a run and have that counted towards your stats. Good job.
Yeah. You may get the winning run of the game, too, after standing there looking at 3 straight pitches right on the middle. Cool. Yeah, it's just
like, oh my gosh.
yeah. Some of these rules, man, it's crazy. But the NFL, I'm sure they're going to change some rules in this offseason. And I don't know. I think they need to look at their concussion protocol thing again. I don't know, man. Some of these guys taking some hits and they're cleared right after it, like Stafford in that one game.
Oh yeah.
His eyes were in the back of his head, and he's out there the next play, and it's like, wait a minute, hold
Like,
up.
something ain't right here. But also on top of that, I think they need to start holding the refs accountable because
Yes.
we have seen this season a lot of bad calls. And it's
Yep.
like, the players go after the game. If they go and criticize the ref, what happens? They get a $50,000 fine or something.
Yep.
But they don't say anything, they don't get fined, and nothing happens to the refs no matter what. These
Nope.
guys, they could get together, form a pack, and be like, you know what? We don't want the Baltimore Ravens to win this week. We're going to call everything against them, and nothing's going to be done. Maybe they'll
Right.
get fired, but they're still going to collect a game check.
Mm-hmm. Which I would be fine with if they'd done that for the Ravens this Sunday. But in general, yes, it's like if they like the players and the coaches and everybody like that, they have to have press conferences afterwards, and they get questioned about the referees, and they answer the question like you said. It's a fine. The referees, when they're done with the game, they go to the locker room, they get in the vehicle, they head to the airport, and they head on down to the next game or back to the house, whatever. They don't have to do any kind of interviews with anybody. They don't have to stand in front of the press and answer, "Hey, how come you called a intentional grounding on this play when the quarterback was still in the tackle box?" Or whatever.
Yeah.
They don't have to do any of that. They go right back to the house like nothing ever happened, and they get to keep their money and don't have to be held responsible for any of it. So yeah, I think accountability should they should have to have accountability for their actions during these games for sure.
I think it's funny as well. Like you mentioned, the players and the coaches got to go do the press conference afterwards. Chances are they're still heated, especially if they
Yeah.
lost. And then the media member goes and asks, "Oh, why do you think the ref did this?" Or "What do you think about that call?" They're
Mhm.
baiting you at that point to say something.
Yep.
They want it for their own news, and they don't care about you and if you get fined. And that I think is a little ridiculous.
Yep. It is. It really is. And like you said, that the referees they don't have to worry about any of that stuff right there. And the heat of the battle, 10 minutes after the game, and you're still mad about how the game ended, and you're being questioned about that. Of course, you're going to let fly whatever you feel like, and then you're going to. It's ridiculous.
I think this off season, our podcast episodes need to consist of rule changes for the NFL and what they need to do.
Yeah, you we should come up with some rule changes. I mean, maybe we should go back to the old XFL kickoff style, the original
Ooh,
XFL. Do you remember that or heard about
may
that?
I've heard about it. I don't know like what benefits it added, but I'll take anything over what we have right now.
It added none, and it was probably more dangerous than the kickoff is right now. They set the ball at the 50-yard line. They had a guy from each team run, and the first one to the ball got the ball for the game. And like the second game, or like the second game, or whatever it was, they done that, and the dude tore his ACL going after the ball, and it's like, this is a disaster. We should have
Well,
just kicked the ball off.
well, I mean, as an extra level of entertainment, I guess, but definitely an extra level of injury.
The original XFL, that's all it was wanting to be, was entertainment. It was the WWF, trying to get into football and be entertaining. It was not really about the football. But when they
Mm-hmm.
came back this last time, I mean, they actually made an attempt to become a legit league, and it wasn't bad, this last go around.
Mm-hmm.
But the first go around, it's like, is this scripted, or is this real football, or is this just for entertainment purposes here?
And
I don't know.
I wouldn't mind like if the NFL adopted the XFL onside quote onside kick rules with like you have to convert a 4th and 15 or whatever to get the ball back because it's
Yeah,
definitely more possible than doing an onside kick the way they have it set up now.
I like that. I like that rule a lot better as well, like you said, because it doesn't the onside kick. How many times does the onside kick really work? Like, what's the percent of that? Like 3 or 4%?
Probably less than that.
Yeah, I mean, when's the last? Was there an onside kick recovered in the NFL this season? I don't remember one. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I don't remember one happening this season.
Um, I'm trying to look it up right now. This article that I found was from December 22nd of 2023 from Saints Wire website, USA Today, and it says at that time teams were 1 for 31.
Wow, 1 for 31.
One success in 31 attempts.
So it's pretty much. And was that the Dolphin?
Saints. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the Saints they tried an onside kick, and at the time teams were 1 for 30. They became unsuccessful at that kick, making teams 1 for 31. And the only team out of all teams that had the successful kick this year for onside wise was the Arizona Cardinals with Matt Prater.
Oh wow. Now, when you first said it was 1 for 31, I automatically assumed it was the Titans when they had that big comeback against the Dolphins, but I guess that wasn't the case.
Nope. Now, like I said, that was I don't know exactly when their game was played, but that was December 22nd, I believe. So I think it was before that, but maybe not. I could be wrong.
Maybe because that game was late December for sure. So it might have been after that.
Well, either way, there have either been one or two successful onside kicks out of 30 plus this year. Compared to last year, I believe let's see, I'm looking here. It looks like there were 9 successful onside kicks.
Wow. So it's gotten worse.
Yeah. And it's like how can you possibly go and make it worse when the onside kick is an important part if a team's trying to make a comeback or if you just want to do something surprising and catch the team off guard.
Yeah, I mean, you think that they would want it to be more competitive and give a team a chance, and that 4th and 15 conversion, would happen a lot more likely than the onside kick for sure.
Mm-hmm. Especially some of the receivers you got in the league that are super fast, like Tyreek. You could
Hmm.
expect it to happen a lot.
Oh yeah, as long as he's healthy, you know.
Yeah, well, and as long as Tua can get the ball to him.
As long as he's healthy and too and get the ball to him, and that sometimes is a struggle for sure.
I feel like this is something we're gonna have to take like a deeper dive into this off season.
Rule changes and potential rule changes, and what we would like to see is rule changes. Yeah, sure, man.
Uh,
Well, uh, that's our conference championship preview and little rule change talk here. But That's next week, man. It's Pro Bowl time.
Ooh, yay! Woo!
And then
The flag football game.
yeah, and then after that it's the big Super Bowl.
Now that
And
I can get behind. Woo! As long as it's not Baltimore winning.
if it happens to be, if Kansas City somehow wins and Detroit somehow wins, I read somewhere somebody said if they don't change it to Taylor Swift and Eminem at the halftime show, they're doing it wrong.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
Kansas City's biggest fan right now, Detroit's biggest fan right now. Just have them do the halftime show.
I
What I
think
mean,
that
what a wonderful idea.
could you imagine if like when they announced the Super Bowl halftime performer originally it was Taylor Swift and then it's like, oh no, she actually can't perform. She's got to go watch her husband play the game up in the suite. So we got to find someone else.
Oh man, the Swifties would like I don't know, they would go insane if that happened. They're already a crazy bunch as is, and you take Tay Tay away from them. Whoa.
Their TVs are gonna get smashed.
Yeah. Yeah. It may, smash no telling what in that stadium, in Vegas. Uh, Man, but yeah, like I said, next week, it's Pro Bowl time, and we'll know at least who is in the Super Bowl, and 2 weeks to prepare for the Super Bowl and get ready for the biggest night of the NFL season.
Cannot wait.
Well, man, you have a good one, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty, see you later.